Hello, everyone, and welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. You probably could tell by the title. Is this going to be a finish? Absolutely not. This is piecing my Land That I Love rose. And this is row like 6, I think. And we have like 11 rows. So, yeah, we're still working on the blocks every Thursday night with Tammy at the Siberian Wind. But I noticed last night in our live that she has all of our completed rows. She has them put together. So I'm like, well, I need to get mine put together too then. But the first thing I have done is pinned my row onto my full constructed part of the quilt in the hopes that I get this pretty closely ready to go. And one thing that I did notice that I think I got off on, well, I didn't mess up on it, but I think what happened was I put a block on the correct way and I put it on my wall the wrong way, and how your seams press, they alternate. Like even rows go one way, odd rows go the other direction. And when I put it on upside down, it made it look like I had the seams going the same direction. So I repressed that, and now I'm looking at it again and I'm thinking, no, I messed up. I should have just left it how it was pressed. Oh, that was a thick little seam right there. And y'all will notice I've got a whole bunch of my quilts here. I was going to construct my rows first and sew like 2 rows together and then add it to the big one. But I'm like, it may just be better to get like 1 row at a time put on here. It may be easier to manage with just one, adding 1 row at a time, because that way you only have one large piece and the rest, is just this one single strip. But do it however, if you're doing this with Tammy and I, do it however you see fit to do it. Whatever's easiest for you. That's what I always tell everybody. Do what is easiest for you to do. My space is very restricted, so I will probably have to start putting my rows together on the other half and then put the 2 pieces together, because this is about as big as my little table is going to hold. I'm hoping y'all are having a wonderful Friday. It is Friday morning. I have got a whole bunch of stuff, which you can't see because of my machine or me, behind me, that I have on my agenda to do this weekend. Will it all get done? Probably not. Because I do want to go see my grandbaby, my little granddaughter, tomorrow up in Arkansas, and because I want to go see that. I want to go see her. I'm saying that because I was thinking my daughter-in-law is supposed to be graduating. She's in some type of welding school. And any accomplishment I want to be, I want to be there for, because I know my son, that's his wife, and he's proud of her. And I want to show my support as well. I'm proud of her because she's doing this with a 1-year-old. And the job that she's working at, they of course paid for it for her to do this, which is a blessing for her. And this is the one that my son that's military, and he got out of military, and it is impossible to find a job at what he was making, in military. And of course, he gets out of military thinking that's what he should be making, and he can't even find a job in the field he was in. So, I think he is currently working or currently waiting on a training class for their local DC or detention center. That's what he did when they lived here. And she couldn't find anything here. And she up and got her a job in Arkansas, and he put his notice in because it was making more than what he was making. And they would be staying with her parents for the time being. Until they're able to find themselves a place. Which that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I don't want to go and intrude on her mama's place. But I really want to see my grandbaby. But anyway, I know I won't get everything done today that I want to get done because I have an appointment this evening to start, for my consultation for therapy on my knee. That's going to be interesting, to say the least. Took me almost 2 weeks to finally get a hold of somebody to get an appointment. And then come to find out it wasn't even the place I was trying to call, but I told her, I said, I don't care. First off, I didn't even know they existed, this place that I actually got. And I got the number from a local doctor's office. I asked them who they normally referred people to. And this was the number they gave me. But of course, it's affiliated with that doctor's office. They're all owned by the same entity. But I was like, the lady actually called me back, and I just told her, I was like, I've been calling for almost 2 weeks to this place. She's like, well, that's not us. And I'm like, really? And I told her, I said, well, I didn't know there was more than one where we live. And I just told her, I said, I have to do this on Fridays or during my lunch, because I don't want to miss any work, for this. But if I have to, or, I may have to leave early. Leave work a little early 2 days a week, because the third day I can do it on Fridays, and I don't work on Fridays, so because I put my 10-hour days in during the week, so I have Friday off. But I don't know how much good therapy's going to do, but I'll do it. Okay, well, I got that one row put on. I'm going to press, and I'll be right back. So that is row 6. So now I need to get row 7. I need to make sure that I have the seams pressed the correct direction. So one moment, and I will be right back, ready to sew row 7 on. Okay, well, I am on my next row, and I noticed I did press them all go in the opposite direction, but the good thing about these rows is you can flip them, but I have a directional block in it, is why I can't just flip this one. So what I'm doing, instead of repressing the whole thing, I just took that block out and I redirectioned it. And that way, this is the only thing that I will have to be pressing, instead of my little bunting basket being on the bottom of the row. It's going to be on the top of the row, which is good, because this one right here turned the other way was right next to a very similar block. So now I'm just hoping my corner pieces are correct. That's the biggest issue here, is making sure the corner pieces are correct, which I would rather do this than to have to press this whole thing again, because like I said, I already done that. I'd already repressed it when I realized it was not the correct direction. Well, I put it next to the wrong block, is what or next to the wrong row. It was correct had it been next to the right row. So now I'm going to press this one block the correct way, and then we'll start sewing it on the main piece again. And we are back ready to sew. I don't pin this very first piece on right here. I don't know why, I just don't. I probably should, but I just line it up here and get to going on it. But this is just going to be a quick little snippet video for you guys. Just hoping your weekend is starting well. Mine is starting with me in the sewing room, which is, well, first thing I did this morning was put my eggs on to boil. Sometimes your seams your little flaps get rolled the wrong way, and you have to get them laid back down the way they're supposed to. And then sometimes I forget which way they're supposed to go. But I've already seen my sister calling me this morning. She must want to go somewhere. Since she no longer works, she doesn't realize I still work on Fridays doing this. This is work, but it's if you haven't noticed, all the jobs that I do, I love. I love my Monday to Thursday job that somebody else pays me for. And I love this one too. Got to make sure we're lined up here good so we're not sewing off the edge. Clip that pin in there, so that means I'm going to have a new needle probably. I have one more row that I can attach, but it does not have all the blocks on it yet. So I think what I'm going to do is just hold off on that one until I get that I think I have a block and a corner piece still to sew on it. My quilt is falling down right here. When you do an on point, it makes it kind of hard to hold it up on your table because you've got a triangle going right here. But slow and steady, and it should be okay. I was telling you earlier about the stuff behind me that you can't see that I have planned to make this weekend. I do have, of course, the sew along tomorrow morning with you guys. Finishing up the color burst throw. And then I have dresses for my granddaughter that I want to make. And then I have some that I'm also going to make to put out there in my eBay shop. Well, it's not even a shop. I just list things on eBay. I don't know what eBay's requirement is to have a shop, but I don't have a shop. I just list things on eBay. I do want to get some of the little summer dresses listed out there. And then I also have the Nantucket bags. I've got step 2 that I'm going to be doing for you guys for Sunday. That is if all goes well. We're keeping our fingers crossed that all goes well. I like it when all goes well and all goes as planned. I hope one of my hopeful things this weekend, I thought I was going to get to it this week, but you probably noticed Wednesday, I did not have a video Wednesday. I was just totally and completely exhausted. I was going to do my Wild West Clue 10 for you guys, but I took a me day. I needed a down day just to rest. I was very tired. But that is still on the agenda to get done, like sometime soon. I need to get that done. I'm going to have more quilts for Miss Ava to long arm. But I have to do them one at a time because that expense does get a little much. I just don't have that space to quilt my quilts. And I know of people, they say they quilt in a smaller area than I have, but I'm glad you're able to do that. I can't. Like sewing this right now is really hard for me because it's very bulky. I have trouble sandwiching because I don't have enough space. I definitely have trouble with quilting. And I mean, I have quilted. I think sandwiching is probably my biggest problem. I don't have an area big enough to lay it all out to sandwich. So, I mean, that is one of my biggest problems right there is sandwiching. And I don't want to sandwich it with, ripples in it, so. I find it's just best if I take my quilts to Miss Ava and let her do the hard part, because she's got that long arm and she can lay everything out on that and sandwich all at one time. And it's she does a fabulous job. So I save the jobs for the people that do them better than me. This part of the job, I do okay. You know, I'm not a perfect edge sewer. I'm not, you know, I have things that aren't always just right, but overall, I get it done. We've got that next row on. So guys, I'm going to call it quits right here. You're going to get a very short snippet. A welcome to your weekend. I hope you're having a great Friday. And I hope your weekend is even better than today. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of video. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. Click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing that we have going on here. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.